Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Millie. Thank you so much for stopping by. On this channel, I talk about yarn, I talk about knitting and crochet, and I also share my yarn hauls with you. I share my works in progress, my finished objects, and my future cast-ons. So today I have a finished object that I'm going to show you, and I have two works in progress that I'm going to share with you. So let's get started. So the first first I'm going to show you my finished object, and it's a shawl. It's a triangular shawl that I started way back in 2021, and that's been a long time. I have projects that are older than this, but I was going through my stash and I was looking for, I think, a project bag or some knitting needles, because I was looking for a specific knitting needle and I knew that I had it. Or when I went to Amazon to buy one, it said you already purchased this, and I was like, where are those knitting needles? And so I was going through my bags and I found this shawl that had been forgotten, and I think I don't know why I stopped working on it, but sometimes I lose I lose my inspiration and I just go and get started on something else, or sometimes I find a new yarn and I'm excited to cast on and start. So this is one of those projects, but I am so happy it's finally finished, and it's finished in time for the cold weather that started to come in slowly. And I cast this shawl on when these shawls that had one by one ribbing were kind of popular, and that's when I cast this on. And I did not use any pattern. I made up this pattern as I went, and I started up here with a garter tab cast on, and then I have these yarn overs in the middle and two knit stitch in the middle to make it look a little bit nice. And then I kind of just went back and forth and made it up as I went, and I am very happy with it. I still need to block it and to weave in all these ends, which I'm not looking forward to. I don't like weaving in ends, but if you're making if you're knitting with two colors like this, you're gonna have to weave in ends anyway. So anyway, I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to wearing this shawl. It feels nice and airy, and it's one of those shawls that are made with very good luxurious yarn. So there's a lot of silk, and all the yarn that I've used here is a combination of silk and merino, and it's this gray and I guess turquoise-ish. I don't know what color this is, but I will look at the color and tell you what it is. This is fingering weight, and this white one here is a sport weight, but it worked perfectly. Like I said, I wasn't using any patterns. I was just using up yarn that I liked, and it was in my stash, so I just combined it as I go. And I believe in just using the design that you like and enjoying the whole process of creating, and I'm okay with making up my pattern as I go on. And I'm also happy to buy a pattern and work off of a designer's pattern, but sometimes I just feel like I just want to make my own thing as I go. And I had previously made a shawl from scratch, and it was very pretty, and it's my favorite shawl, but I decided to try it again and see what would happen, and this is the result. So I love it. I still need to block it, and I'll do that. Blocking is not my most interesting thing to do, but it has to be done in order to straighten all these carved edges and weave in the edges and make the stitches pop. So that has to be done, and I have to do it before the cold season really kicks in. So let me share the yarns that I used on these. I save all my notes on Ravelry, and you can imagine I would not remember. I would not be able to remember anything if I didn't have any notes on my Ravelry account. So I am happy that this Ravelry is available, and it's a free website where you can log in all your crochet or knitting projects and go back and forth and refer to them, and also look at what other people are making. You can also buy patterns and all that, or join knit alongs or crochet alongs. There's so much you can do on Ravelry. So this was cast on in February 19, 2021 and finished on October 15th, 2023. So I finished it a few weeks ago, and I used Lazy Cat yarn. So I had 2 skeins of Lazy Cat yarn, Radiance. The name of the yarn is called Radiance. Let me see, I have the yarn label here. So that's the Dyer Lazy Cat, and I buy from her. The yarn is I love her yarn. And this, I think this one is this. The label for the gray one, I cannot find it, and I used up all the gray, and this is what I have left of this colorway. It's called Don't Blink, and so the content is 50-50 merino, wool, and silk. So 50% merino, 50% silk. It's hand dyed. It's 437 yards, and it's a fingering weight, and it was 100 grams skein. So this colorway is called Don't Blink, but I think it's still available on their website. So it has some gray tonals in it, and it's really nice and smooth to knit with. Then this gray over here, I can't find the label for it. I think I lost it, but I finished all the gray is gone, and it's called Event Horizon. But when I looked at it, I looked for it to find more information about it. It's exactly the same as this, apart from the color. They don't have this anymore on their website, so I don't know if they were out or if they don't dye this colorway anymore. And the colorway is called Event Horizon, and I used up everything. I used up everything on that. Then the other yarn that I had is this. This is Malabrigo yarn Susurro. That's the name of the yarn. It's let me go in there and look at the details. So this comes in a 325 yards, and it's 100 grams skein, and it's 50% silk, 25% cellulose dash linen flax, I guess that's the same thing, and 25% merino wool. It has a silky look to it, so it's a sport weight, and that's the yarn I did in this section that has these yarn overs. So this was just yarn overs staggered throughout this section, and I have this bit left, but this yarn was very expensive. So all these yarns were like a little bit expensive. So, but I enjoyed working with this one so much that I'm thinking I'm gonna go back to the store and find another one and work up another shawl with it. It was such a fun yarn to knit with. So I enjoyed using all these, And even though this is a fingering and this is a spot weight, they went really well together. So don't be afraid to mix weights. I think I prefer to keep the content together, so that like if I'm working with a merino wool, then I want it to be merino throughout. If I'm working with a silk blend, then I want it to be a silk blend, even though probably not the same content, but still keep it the same kind of a silk blend with merino. And even though it's not the same weight, I still will give it a try, and I'm happy with how this one turned out. And I'm just gonna wait and go and block it, and then it's gonna be ready to wear when the cold season really kicks in here. So that is my finished. Oh, for the knitting needles, I believe I used let me see, I think I used a US 5. I think that's what I used, but I'm not very sure. Let me see. I think I have them in here. Because I was moving them around. Yeah, this is what I used. These are Cheer Goose. They have the number on them. 5. So I used these Cheer Goose 5s, and they are very wide, so it was comfortable using these knitting needles because I was able to hold all the stitches and stretch the shawl. And look at them. Look at that. Look at the length of the cord. So when I'm making shawls that are going to end up having like 400 like this one was 400 stitches. I counted actually. Yeah, I counted. It was like 400 and something. So eventually at the bottom, because it's figuring weight, and I was increasing 4 stitches on the right side. So I was increasing on the right side at the beginning. In the middle, I was increasing 2, and on the other side, I was increasing 2. So it grew really big, and it was 400 and something stitches, and I was able to stretch it out and see it, and that makes me happy because I can kind of see how it's turning out. So for at the bottom, I used a feather and fan. I made 2 rows of that to give it a little bit of a scallop, so that it might look a little bit wavy and not just plain. So you can see a little bit of a wave there at the bottom, and that's a feather and fan. It's an 18 stitch repeat, very easy to memorize. Once you do the first row, everything else you won't need to read the pattern anymore. It's so easy, but it gives you that nice finished look, and I like using it on my shawls at the bottom so that it can have a little bit of a wave and give it some character down there. So that is my finished object. So now I'm gonna show you what I am working on next. Okay, so that's that. So I'm working on a little baby cardigan, and this is like out there. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think the baby might have become too big for this, because initially I was making it for a newborn, and that is what it looks like. And look at how cute. So that's the front, that's the back. So this little cardigan, I'm using a pattern. It's called In Threes is the pattern. It's available for sale on Ravelry, but I bought this years ago and I have probably made over 10 baby sweaters with it. So it's a good investment. So if you like a pattern, just consider buying it and promoting that designer, and then you're going to enjoy a lot of knitting or crochet out of it. So this is a very, very well made pattern. It looks basic, but you can update it however you want. And it's very easy, it's beginner friendly, and there are so many sizes that you can do. And let me see this specific one, what the size is that I'm working on this specific project here. So I don't know if I have it here on Ravelry. I think I do. It's called In Threes, and it comes in 0 to 6 months, 12 months. So the pattern goes all the way to a size 5. And so you start, there's available from 0 all the way through to 5, and the chest size from 17 inches all the way to 24 inches. And it's done using a worsted weight. So it's a fast knit. You can, so the design comes with the short sleeves, but you can make the sleeves full length, which I do. I usually make it full length. So for this sweater, I'm using a yarn from my stash here. Okay, so I'm using Lion Brand yarns, feels like butter. So that's the yarn that I'm using, and this is the colorway Ice Glaze. I had bought a ton of these to make a baby blanket, but I didn't like crocheting with it. It wasn't working for me, so I decided to make baby sweaters with it, and it's working. It in my opinion, or in my experience, I prefer to knit with it than to crochet with it, because for some reason it wasn't giving me a good balance. So it's 3.05 ounces, it's 218 yards, and it's a machine washable. So it's a very good yarn for baby clothes because you can throw in the washer and dryer. But I've had better experience with it knitting than crocheting. So I'm just trying to use it up. And this is the 0 to 6 months. So I don't know how I feel about it, and I decided to add a little bit of color here. So just my own made up Fair Isle, which was just simple, and I used the pink because I bought pink and I bought this colorway, and so I'm trying to use that up. And I've had a lot of trouble with this sweater because I started it here. I don't remember what I did. I think it was too big. I started a different size and it looked too big, and so I started a smaller size. But then now I'm starting to second guess myself. So I don't know if I'm going to finish it or I'm going to flog it and start all over again. I'll let you know in the next video what I decide to do with it. I'm currently using my signature US 7 knitting needles, and I'll see how it works out. I might finish it, I might frog it. So that is still out there. So that's one of my WIPs, which I can say I'm not really enjoying it, or probably I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish it, but I'll let you know. And sometimes when I hit a block when I'm knitting, I just usually cast on a new project, and that is what I did with this one. So when I hit a block with this one, I decided to cast on a new project, and that is on top of all the other projects that I have cast on. So this is my most enjoyable WIP, which I will finish in the next few days, or that is how what I'm planning to do, is finish it in the next few days. It is such a fun project. I am sure I will finish because I'm enjoying working with it. So in the past, I have been working a lot with acrylic. I forgot how nice it feels to work with merino wool. It is such an enjoyable process. So, and if you have seen my videos, you know I'm still yet to buy some sleeves to hold my yarn when I wind it, because by the time I'm done working with it, it's all over the place. So I use my old stockings, so I recycle, so it's not that bad. And I think I'm not the only one who does it, because I saw that trick on somebody's YouTube video. Okay, so this is my current favorite work in progress. So it's another made up shawl. I don't think I'll call it a design, but look at that. I made it up as I went, and I am loving it, and I'm almost finished. I don't have large knitting needles to hold in this size. This is a size 7. I don't have a cable that is long enough to stretch out these stitches, but it's still working for me. So this is made using yarn from my starch. So this, I started up here with a garter tab cast on, and I'm going to do a tutorial for how to start to do a garter tab cast on, which leaves your top straight. And then I'm doing an knit front and back, and knit front and back at the center, so I'm increasing 2 stitches, and then I'm doing the same here. I have a little border here, which is just 2 knit both sides, so it's a border in garter stitch, and then I'm increasing on the third stitch from the beginning. I'm increasing knit front and back, and I'm doing the same on the other side. So I'm increasing 4 stitches on the right hand side, and then I'm not increasing on the other side, on the wrong side. And so that is what I have so far, and I love it. And the best thing about this is it's 100% merino wool, 100% superwash merino wool in a worsted weight, but the yarn was very, very budget friendly. So the yarn that I'm using is ice yarn. So that's what I'm using. And this I bought way back, maybe 2 years ago. So it was sitting in my stash, and I was like, I need to use up this yarn. And this is superwash merino. It's a 4 weight, and the skein has 100 grams, which is 200 meters. It doesn't say how many yards. I probably can do the math, but it's 200 meters. So that is what it looks like. It's hard dyed, but I've had it so long in my stash, and when I started working with it and I loved it so much, I went back to Ice Yarn and they don't have it anymore. They have a notify me when it's available there. So I don't know if they're gonna make it again or if that's it. I wish I had bought more. I had bought 4 skeins and it was going for $7.79 a skein, which is unbelievable because normally this would go for like $20. So I got 4 of these, and this I've already used up 2, and I'm gonna use a little bit of the third here. And the Ice Yarns doesn't usually have colors, and I don't even think this is important because it's currently not available on their website, but this was the number on the yarn. So they have numbers. And then I used Cascade 220 for the black, and this cream color was also a leftover Cascade that was in my stash, and when I put them together they looked nice, and so I was like, I'm making the shawl for myself, so I'm just gonna like what it turns out to be. And this part might look complicated, but I did not know that this is my favorite part. I didn't know that it was gonna turn out like that, you know, like a big design or whatever. So what I was doing was I was knitting with the cream and having some yarn overs, and then on the wrong side I would just purl back, and then I introduced this yarn and I just knit, and it turned out with these bubbles in there. I think because of the variegated aspect in this yarn, it turned out very, very pretty. And so this black one is Cascade and the cream one is Cascade. I think the cream one is called it's a natural yarn, and this I bought, I think it was going for $13, but all this is coming from, I had this yarn in my stash and I was using it to make something, and I had some leftovers, and this is a whole ball of Cascade, which is the Cascade 220. I don't remember how many, I don't know if I have the label for that. I think I do. No, let me see. I don't think I have the label for, oh, here is the label. Okay, so this is the black one is Cascade Superwash, and it's a very good affordable yarn if you're not trying to spend too much money, especially if you're lucky to find it on sale. And it comes in multiple colors, and it's a superwash merino. It's a number 4, and it comes in a ball. It costs anywhere from, the most I've seen it is $13. It's usually less than that, and there's 220 yards in it, and you can use US 7 millimeters, and that's what I'm using. And it's a super wash, so you can wash it, but I personally, if a garment is made with wool, I'll use the hard wash setting in my washing machine, and if I don't have that, then I'll hard wash and lay it flat to dry because I don't want to risk damaging it. So this is 220 yards. It comes in 100 grams ball. It doesn't come in a skein, it comes in a ball. And so I might have a little bit of this left, and I finished up all the cream, which was like a half a ball. So it was like maybe 110 yards is what it was. So I'm happy that I was able to use up something from my stash. And at the bottom of this shawl, the last row here, I'm doing a feather and fan section so that I can have it wavy at the bottom and looking nice. and I'm planning to finish it ASAP so that I can block it and start enjoying it because it's starting to get cold over here. So that is all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed, and give it a thumbs up. And until next time, happy knitting!